Okay, it's recording. I'm trying to make a thumbnail before we get started. If you clicked on this video because you saw a Glock and it's titled like something in best handgun in the world or something, or best handgun, this has nothing to do with a Glock, okay? All right, let's get into it. Lots of people always email me or DM me asking me what first gun should they buy, which one is the best handgun, and that sort of stuff. So I figured I'll make a little educational video, I guess. I don't know how this will work out, we'll see. And most of my information is based on what I've seen and common sense and what I've learned over years. So if this doesn't match up with your opinion, then just leave it in the comments. That's where I'm gonna read it. Okay, so which handgun should be your first handgun and which one should you buy? And this is my opinion. Most handguns these days are almost as good as all the other ones. And most of the big companies you go with like Glock, Smith & Wesson, SIG, Beretta, and HK, and all these other brands, they're gonna be good handguns. The company's been around forever, and they're gonna do the work. So at the end of the day, it really comes down on training and what you can do with your tool. You gotta see if you got the budget for it. Anywhere between $300 to $500, in my opinion. I think it's a good budget for a handgun for beginners. And one thing I'll say is the caliber. I believe myself, if you're getting into the guns and you don't have the 40 or the 45, you're not sure which one to get, stick with the 9mm. There's a lot of reasons. It's a little bit cheaper than the other ones. The capacity is sometimes more, and also the recoil, which is the most important thing. When you shoot, that recoil is less, so you can come back on target like right away. So yeah, training. I have a story for that. I've been riding motorcycles forever. I kind of don't anymore, but I used to. I used to ride motorcycles a lot. So my friend I can pop wheelies, I can do all kinds of crazy stuff on motorcycles, and they're fun. Dangerous, but fun. Actually, don't get a motorcycle, it's dangerous. What am I saying? Story. So my friend wanted to get a license too, so he can be cool like me, go pop wheelies. So he went through the whole course, and he actually went out of his way to go take classes to ride motorcycle, and they would also license you through DMV to get a license for motorcycle. So he went and spent the money, he did the class, and that was it. That was like 2-3 years ago or something like that. So he got his license for motorcycle. Not too long ago, he came over. He was like, you know what, let's go for a ride. I got my license, and let's go for a cruise. And I had a couple at that time. This was maybe 6 months ago or something like that. I had a couple Harleys. I was like, let's go for a ride. So he came over, but unfortunately he didn't know how to operate the motorcycle. I was like, I thought he went to the whole class and training and stuff, and obviously he did. He got his license, he had the paperwork and everything, but he didn't know how to comfortably ride a motorcycle. And that comes back to the same firearm principle. No matter what kind of a motorcycle, how expensive it is, or no matter what kind of handgun you buy, if you spend $1,000 or $100, if you don't know how to operate the handgun during the most stressful, intense situations, then it's pretty much garbage. You don't know what you're doing with your handgun. So any handgun that I think it's affordable, it feels good in your hand, it will do the job for security, for home defense, whatever the situation for you it might be, I don't know. But if you don't have any range time, you don't have any practice, and you don't know how to operate this at a very close distance, that's where most things happen for home defense or anyone trying to attack you. They're not gonna come from 200 yards away. It's gonna happen at a very close proximity. So the best thing to do is just get a lot of practice. And sometimes that's what I do. I'll just come here or anywhere in the range, outdoors, and I'll just shoot. And that's what you want to do. You want to practice. So I don't have to think about any of the safety features on any guns, or they might have some extra features. My Glock doesn't have too many safety features, but some might come with lots. So you want to know if it's on, if it's off, if it's ready to be fired. You don't want to sit there during the intense situation to think about what's going to happen. Also, if you are training first, my recommendation is, find a comfortable stand. You'll see a lot of times people will stand in different positions, like this, or whatever it is. You just gotta do what's comfortable, the more the relaxed way you are. For me, it would be just something like this, normal, standing here and just shooting. Most of the times I try not to even use the sights if I can, if I don't have to, if I'm just practicing. That way I don't have to rely on the sights. When the time comes, my memory, my muscle memory just comes up and shoots. Let me show you guys. So now I'm locked in, so I would just go like this. And honestly, I'm not even looking through the sights. I'm just hitting the target based on my muscle memory. So as you saw, I wasn't really standing there, you know, aiming, taking time to look it through the sights. I just knew where my barrel is and I just kept shooting and then hitting the target. And that's how simple it is. Once you get a lot of practice, a lot of range time in, and you actually know how to operate your gun, that's the safest thing you can do. The worst thing is for you to not know what's going on with your firearm. And let me tell you, a lot of times, depending on what kind of ammunition you use, you'll end up having jams in your weapon. Whether if it's Glock, if it's SIG, it's Smith & Wesson, doesn't matter what it is. You might run into some jams here and there. Here's where it becomes really important. These jams are okay, in my opinion, I think jams are okay to happen in case, just in case, you are in a very stressful situation and your gun jams. The one thing you want to know is how to unjam it and to clear your weapon to make sure you get back on target and load it up and shoot. So that's also an important thing. Just because you're buying an expensive gun, you want it not to jam, has nothing to do with that. Most guns will jam based on themselves or based on the ammo you're using. If you are carrying it for self-defense or home, I would get something decent. I'm not gonna put cheap ammo in the guns, so that you don't run into these jams or malfunctions. So what else am I missing out? I took some notes. Let me see. What did I write down? I figure since we make a bunch of silly videos, we'll make some serious educational one for everybody that wanted to know. So we talked about jams. Shooting both hands. I wrote this down too. That was important for me. So let's say you are in a stressful situation. I shoot with my right, but it's always good to shoot with your left also. Again, I'm not gonna aim. One thing you want to do is just aim. See, I missed too, so I missed like 3-4 of them, and that's normal because I don't really practice on my left, which I kind of should. But if I was to switch hands and shoot it with my right without aiming, I can just hit it every time. So it's important for me to actually practice on my left and my right, both of them. So in case I am in a situation where I only have one hand to use, I can get a target and hit it. And I'm not too far from this thing. It's about 20-25 feet away, which is a good distance for anyone coming attacking you, and that's where you want to aim and point and shoot. You don't want to sit there, take your time, try to look through these little sights just to point it exactly where the person's coming. You most likely are not going to have time to do that. So best thing to do is load. Wait, what happened? Oh. The best thing to do is chamber your round and shoot. Oh, I talked about the cheap ammo, blah blah blah. Not shooting from too far. Oh, okay, so yeah, when you want to shoot, like I was saying, I'm shooting from about 20-25 feet away, which might be actually too close, but that's actually good for me. I can go further back, but I'm just trying to practice on my muscle memory just so I can hit the target. I can go further back. As I'm getting good, I'm gonna go further back, and I might also try to speed up the process too during this whole thing. So you don't want to put the target really far and to where you're missing every shot, and most case scenarios that could actually be dangerous. Like you might be hitting something else that if someone is attacking you at, like, let's say 100 feet, your bullet might not go exactly where you want. It might hit somebody else on a bystander or something like that. So I would say just wait till someone gets really close and then take him out. I don't know why I'm laughing. That was just funny. Maybe it's not funny, I don't know. Okay, so that's it. I didn't want to make this video really long, just really short and sweet. We'll come back some other day and say why I always pick Glocks. That will be a little bit challenging because some people might say Glock is not the best, and they might like Smith & Wesson, SIG, and all the other guys. But for now, that's it. You want to get good at it, get in the range, practice, and get good at shooting. Know your firearm, get familiar with it, get comfortable with it. It's exactly like driving a car or riding a motorcycle. You can buy $100,000, $200,000 vehicle. If you don't know how to operate it, then what's the point of it, right? So the same principle goes with the firearm. Get really comfortable with it. Know your safeties. Always know your safeties. If you don't know, I don't know, look into YouTube videos for safety instructions. If you go on a range, ask a range master to help you with some safety rules and tips. And I think have some common sense. That's also important. That's it. That's all I have to say for that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and as always, thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next time.